One go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone who's watching us. Today we have Geetika. She's amazing. She's a leadership coach, and we will learn so much from her. She's also a mom of two. She has two toddlers, 4 and 2. So very excited to hear from her. Welcome, Geetika.
Thank you, Roxandra. And likewise, very excited to be here. And I love your beautiful smile and all the energy that you bring into this podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm just so glad I met you because I've been in your world for a few weeks now. And I have to say, I love everything you do. And you are literally an inspiration. And thank you for giving me access to your community. And I already learned something from you, I have to say, a few weeks ago. I'm gonna share it and then I will let you take the lead. I remember when you sent a message in your group, in your community, and you ask for volunteers to help you with a specific task. And I was like, wow, so many ladies just jump on it. I can do that. I can help you with that. I was like, this is amazing. So I'm always talking with my clients about delegating and making their life easier. And you asking for the volunteer and your ladies jumping in saying, I can do it. I was like, gosh, thank you so much. That's definitely something I learned from you. Thank you for that.
That is so sweet. Thank you so much. And I'm very grateful that you're finding meaning and, something very useful from the community. That's all that I want for this community.
That's amazing. So just talk with us a little bit about your coaching business and what you do and why do you do it?
Sure. So I am a leadership coach and I work. Are we still on, right?
Yes, yes, we are.
For some reason, I couldn't see. I'm a leadership coach and I work with women in tech specifically. And why women in tech? Because I started off as an engineer. I have studied engineering in IT systems and my master's as well. And I started my first job also in IT. And being in India, I'm also surrounded, my full communities of IT people. So I see the pain points and the challenges that women in tech specifically go through and how they start with a lot of dreams in their eyes but slowly life gets in between and our biological clock is completely contradictory to our career clock, as Intra Nui says. And that is where also a lot of women lose their identity, lose their confidence, and just what they want from life. And that's my wish, to be able to help each of these women come up and do something for themselves, just to be able to think and reflect for themselves for their journey of growth. So that's what I do as a leadership coach.
That's amazing. And thank you for sharing that. And it's a beautiful mission you have there. And it's so unique because you have your niche so clear. And because of your experience, you've been in tech industry for so long and you're helping them in such a professional and technical job where, let's face it, predominantly are male in this industry. So I know my sister, she's she's an IT manager, and my brother-in-law as well. So they are both in IT. So I do know a bit about this. But can you just help us understand the difference between leadership and management?
Oh, that's such a important question, and thank you for asking that, Roxandra. So, a lot of my clients, after having 12 to 15 years of working experience, also, which is a lot, right? They will still come up and tell me that I don't want a leadership role. So, how I have begun to see this is that, a lot of people view leadership as only people management, which it definitely is and it should be. And my ask is that having spent 12 to 15 years in shining through your technical expertise, if you don't move on to people management roles, which technically means helping people, your team members and your peers understand what goes on technically, then you do not grow and you do not let people under you also grow. And that's almost like a light bulb sentence, that okay, I never view it like that. I was only looking at the challenging aspect of people management and not looking at it in terms of growth. And that's what actually true leadership is. It's not only management where you're giving off tasks to other people or you're dictating other people's timings, or the kind of tasks that they need to do, or only responsible for their appraisal and performance review. It also means being able to guide someone with those technical expertise that you have so that they can perform their task better. It's allowing to give them that autonomy to be able to decide for themselves, and then bring in that creativity and innovation. So that is true leadership, and it is very different from management, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And also, I remember you standing out. You have the three C's formula, if I remember right. So was it confidence, communication, and clarity? Can you just talk
That's right.
with us a bit more about that? Because that's so magical and so powerful.
Thank you, Roxandra. So, as I know firsthand, out of experience, that a lot of us techies are geeks, and not in a bad manner, okay? But the thing that most people are excited in technology is just, sitting in front of their laptop and creating magic, which is great. But when you come into a leadership role, what you really need to do is to be able to communicate better. And surprisingly, a lot of those big five companies, Manx, a lot of people are facing issues where they do not know how to communicate their expectation of their team members. They do not know what to say when giving feedback. They're so scared of saying the wrong things that they better not say it. So that's where that bit about communication comes. With regards to clarity, it's about how you perceive your own self, and have that knowledge about where you thrive, where you excel, so that you can give space to others to be able to thrive and excel in their own world. So that's that bit about clarity. And confidence is, of course, an amalgamation of everything. A lot of these techies are so good at what they do, but when it comes to leadership, they just lack that confidence of trying to speak to upper management. Because let's face it, as leaders, that is number one thing that we need to do. A lot of people will still go around and only mingle with their team members, people that report into them, and their peers. But to them, I say that at least 25% of your time also needs to be spent when you're managing the senior stakeholders in your company, so that your work and your team members' work is visible. So that's where that confidence bit comes in. And that's all about the 3C framework.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And now it actually brings me to another question. And I hope you have a good answer for us as well, because you obviously have all this knowledge. So I'm really curious, what's your secret and how do you teach your clients in order to inspire their teams, in order to go through innovation, embrace the innovation, and foster, the challenges?
That is a very good question, Roxandra. And I love the way you said teach. And I think that's where, coaching is so different from consulting and teaching. I started my career as a trainer. And at that time, I was training university students. And then slowly I moved into corporate training. And in 2019, I moved into coaching, which I had no clue about, but a lot of people just recommended. And I think now that I understand coaching better, I know for sure that it's not teaching, it's not guiding, but the whole process of coaching is co creating with the client. So when you say that how I teach my clients, to be better leaders, I would say I help them co create that process where we understand the client's strengths, what they really want out of that leadership session as a goal, and then using their own strengths, how they can achieve that. And it's amazing to see that light bulb just go into their mind when a lot of people will say, I'm very bad at time management, and I'm spending 12 hours at work and I barely get any time with my family. And when we dig deep using those coaching conversation, what really comes out is that they are fearful of delegating, and therefore they end up doing everything themselves, which eventually means just spending more time at work. So, that's that process of getting the client to think more about themselves, and then, take that step forward.
Yes, and I definitely relate to that. Some of my clients, they have the same issue. And I had to admit I was there a few years ago with delegating because somewhere, inside me, I was looking at the time for perfectionism. And I thought, like, me is the only way, I can do this is just me being involved in it. And I have to admit, I did that with my husband as well. So that affected my own, family and my own relationship and marriage. So once I learned that it's not about perfectionism, it's about progress and it's about going back to what you said, having a clear communication, having a clarity, knowing exactly what do you want, and then just very simple message. Just make sure they understand what do you want from them, and this is it. And then you can always supervise, even if you delegate things, you can supervise, you can make sure they will keep you up to date. And it's a case of just having that communication, flowing. So, yes, that's amazing. Thank you for saying that. And now you mentioned also about family. Can you tell me what's your secret? Let's call it a secret again, because I know you have those two lovely, beautiful toddlers. And I had the opportunity to meet one of them, at least I remember at our first call. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. 2 and 4, definitely the age that they need you the most. So tell me, how do you balance your business and family time?
So, Roxandra, I actually started working when my firstborn was only 8 weeks. So, I was 8 weeks postpartum. And motherhood, is very lonely, especially when you're breastfeeding your child at 2 a.m. It's like the world is sleeping, but here you are alone with a crying baby trying to feed him, and all you both want to do is just go back to sleep. And at that point in time, I decided that, I need to get back to coaching because that's what fills my emotional cup. So I communicated with my husband and I told him that, I really need to do this for myself. Otherwise, I feel that I'm going to lose my identity. And from there, I started picking up small pockets of time when I knew I had enough time for myself. And when, the baby is probably slept and is sleeping and, or is feeding or is playing, doing something of their own. And slowly now we've gotten into this very beautiful rhythm where the kids themselves now say that, okay, mama is working or, she's in a call. So let's not disturb her. And they know that, once I finish my work, I will go back to them. And I work from home, which I feel is a very big blessing for me. So at least I don't have to commute and spend time traveling. So that is also very good. And I also ensure, that the times when they are going to school or when they're coming back, that time I don't hold any meetings or any client calls to be available for them. So as I was learning from another workshop, it's called the circle of security, that when kids go out, they need to have, their emotional cup filled. And when they come out from exploring the world, they again need that emotional cup filled. So I try to balance my work commitments and other commitments like that.
Fantastic. And I have to admit, it's pretty much my life. Like you describe it, I do exactly the same. Jason is 2 and Jessica is just 5 months old, and I'm still doing business and I still love it. And I work with moms in business. So you can imagine some calls, they don't mind, if I have my little one around or if Jason stops in, it's fine. But other calls or other meetings or other interviews or summits or and obviously I have to be there 100%, which is a case of making sure my husband is at home or making sure, someone else looks after them, which I know for lots of the ladies is pretty difficult. At least my clients, they are telling me, look, I don't have anyone else. It's just me or it's just me and my partner, and this is it. I don't have a large family. So this is when they find it pretty difficult. But exactly like you said, it's so essential to give that one-to-one, like making sure you have that eye contact with them and you tell them exactly what's going to happen. Mommy's in a call, and you kind of have some rules around it. Like Jason, now he's 2 and he knows, like, if I say like this or like this, that means this is an important call. So you have to be quiet for a little bit. And I'm always making sure I have like little toys around me or little snacks or, those type of things to keep them occupied. So that's amazing. I love it. I really do. Thank you so much for
That
sharing
is
that.
so sweet, Roxandra. And, I think this message really needs to go out because a lot of women begin to feel, that they've lost their identity when they become mothers, or they feel guilty even. But, as you're also saying, that even just small gestures and he's aware. So these are the boundaries that we are creating for our children to be respectful of. And, eventually when they get married and have partners, they will also realize this, that even other people in our family have commitments or things that they like to do, and we need to give them that space, we need to allow that space. So, like yourself, starting them young, and just for them to be able to understand, I think is really important, and it's worthwhile, making that effort.
Hmm. Yes, and because you mentioned about the parenting tip, I have another one as well. And I remember I learned this a few years back. I wasn't even a mom at the time, and I love it. And it says that apparently the first 3 minutes since they wake up and the last 3 minutes since they go to bed, those are the magic moments. Those the 3 minutes will make a huge difference in their development. So this is the time when you really, really need to be by themselves, by their side. And yeah, I love that. And I do it. I do that. Like honestly, I do it. That's my like definitely 100%. Doesn't matter what's, going around. This is it. I'm gonna put my kid to bed. I'm gonna be there every morning when they wake up. So this is for me. Is there something that
Absolutely.
sorry.
And happy mom, happy baby. And when the mother gets to do something that she really loves to do and is so passionate, I think, you automatically see that those ripple effects of happiness, enjoyment, and what passion means. So I think you're doing an amazing job with the kids and with the business as well.
I can say exactly the same about you and everyone who's in your community. And I was so impressed that you managed to create this community in such a way. It feels like a family. Like I've been there only for a few weeks, and I have to say, I feel like I know them like so deep, and they are so willing to support each other. And I remember someone else was saying, oh look, I'm hiring, or who, if someone wants a job. It's just so much support and so genuine, like everyone who is there, they really, it's amazing. So congratulations for that. What's the
Thank
secret?
you. Okay, so there is honestly there's no secret. It's just, women handling each other's crowns, and that has always been my dream, Roxandra, to create a community of like-minded women, that will stand up for each other, that will take each other's names behind closed doors and create opportunities, instead of feeling jealous or envious or any of those negativity. And to be fair, there is no space for all of that. You're always so busy with work and with kids and family that where is the time for all of that negativity? Instead, let's all focus on all the positive things that we can do for each other. And when we think about each other, automatically opportunities get created for us also. So it's a win win situation. Everyone's winning in this. Why can we not do that? And that was the only hope and aim that I had when I created that WhatsApp community. And thank you so much for being a part of that community.
Oh, yeah, thank you as well. Honestly, it's beautiful. Like you said, it's because you have this pure mission and it's coming from the soul, and this is what attracts. It's pure energy because people feel it. When I hate when they're like, "Oh, fake it until you make it." Yes, in a way, yes, in a way of visualizing it and manifesting it, law of attraction, all of that. Yes. But not in a business. I will never do that. So I saw this happening, especially online, because you have an online business. I saw so many coaches because I'm working mainly with coaches and therapists and gifted and healers. So they all have a specific gift and they are just so unique in what they do. It's kind of around coaching. And I remember at the beginning when I started working and I saw, especially the USA market is completely different from Europe and from Asia. So that's a big thing I learned because I work globally now. So I remember a few of the coaches, they tried, to hire those big Airbnbs, that beautiful house, which they were there for a few days because they couldn't afford to pay more. And actually they were doing their whole course or the program and they were recording it in there, and it worked, but it worked for a very short time because they never really managed to have long-term clients. They were just buying and leaving, and this is it. And once we talked about, okay, let's see who you are. And your brand is actually the best thing to build your business. It's around you and to find the true and true to be true to yourself, as a business owner as well. So this is when I step in, like, okay, your branding, your messaging, everything you do in your business needs to align with who you are. And then everything started to change. And then you attract the right people who want to definitely learn from you in a pure way. And then they will be your last long clients. And you build the relationships. And guess what? They will tell to another five, six, seven people about you and your services. And this is how you build your business. And it's growing naturally just because of you.
Absolutely. That is so beautifully put. And it's authentic, it's true. So it's not difficult to do.
Yes. Yeah. Let's talk about that. How would you describe authenticity and how would you help someone to actually find more about who they are?
This is such an important question, Roxandra, one that all my clients ask. So they'll say, my manager is saying things like this. Like there was one particular lady who was working for a very big petroleum company here in Asia. And the first session she said was, my manager thinks that I'm not good with communication skills. And my question to her was, I'm not here to speak about your manager. I want to know what you think about yourself. And at that point, it was just like someone had given her the permission to be herself. And why do we need that validation? Why do we seek that validation from anyone else, right? If I think I'm good at communication, I just need to take it a step forward and showcase to the world how good my communication is. It does not mean that if my manager thinks my communication is bad, it is truly bad. And that is authenticity, right? What we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves when we are young, when we are very just born and getting into the toddler stage. In those moments, everyone thinks they are the most handsome boy and the most pretty looking girl in the whole wide world. And then what happens as we grow up and grow older? Why do we start doubting our own abilities and all the things that are inborn and inequality with us, right? So I always focus on authenticity, that you need to first believe in yourself. and if you don't believe in yourself, who else will? If you cannot be your own cheerleader, why will others cheer you?
Mm,
And that is the power of authenticity. Just be true to yourself. Be kind, be true, and speak truthfully. And everything will just happen. It may not happen immediately, which is what a lot of us want, right? That, okay, today we launched our coaching business. Let's start earning five figures right away. That's not how things work. Be patient, but be truthful to yourself, so that when you cross that journey, when you cross that path, and when you reach the destination, you will feel happy and proud about your own self.
exactly, exactly. So beautiful the way you said it. And also, I had a few clients, they were earning five figures, even six figures. But guess what? Because love and money, they have the same energy, the same frequency. So unless you're true to who you are and you love yourself, like you said early on, it's a mirror, right? So you're gonna mirror that. Yes, you can make money, but it might not last, right? So you hit six figures and then guess what? Money and love exactly the same. So you have to go back to who you are, our authentic self, like you said. I know it's not easy, but it's important. And based on what your client said and what she experienced, it's pretty known, I think, in any industry. Feedback, constructive feedback, and failure. Let's talk about that. So let's talk about how a leader, everyone's like, okay, you need to be resilient. You need to know how to approach failure. You need to give constructive feedback. All of those things. Can you just tell a bit more about those?
Roxandra, very good questions, I would say. And feedback is something that most leaders shy away from because no one wants to be the bad guy. But the thing about feedback is, if you stop making it about the person and only focus on the problem, then it's not difficult and it's not bad feedback. Then it just remains as feedback. So, just to reframe our thoughts that, okay, let's not focus on the person and focus on the problem, then everything is easy. And with regards to how do leaders share news with their team members, I would say being vulnerable is so underrated and yet works wonders. When you as a leader show up truthfully, authentically, and admit to your failures and fears, you see how the team rises up and, then just creates magic. Then your team members are there to support you, to create something new, to be innovative, and just to have a very good working environment. That has always worked success in my cases. When I just encourage my clients to be vulnerable, that is where all the magic lies in.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so beautiful. But do you think that we all can be leaders, or do you think it's a muscle, it's a skill that you have to learn?
I think everyone is a born leader, because it's not only about managing people, as I said earlier. Leadership is about how you manage your own self. And mothers are the number one leaders because they are leading everything. They're leading kids, they're leading their partners, they're leading houses, homes, businesses, work everywhere. So they are the super leaders, and they absolutely have to have faith in their own abilities. A lot of times, women don't realize how much of the world, their small little world, is revolving around them, and they are being the center, pinnacle of everything, and everyone is looking up to them. And this is something, that actually my husband made me realize when I became a mother and I was dealing with postpartum, that everything starts with you. When you are happy, the whole house is happy, the whole
Yes.
family is.
I totally agree with that. And I have to say that this is how I approach this as well, because I work with moms in business and I'm always saying leadership is like parenting. And you do
Absolutely.
have to treat your team members pretty much as you treat your kids, like simple language, clear vision, nice message. Go back to them, make sure they did the right thing or where they are, checking the progress, all those things, which you do. And you don't even realize as a mom that you do so much. And this is the beauty of it. I remember I had a client, this was a few years back, and she was like, oh, she had all this journey of motherhood. She had only one job before being a mom because she was really at a very early age a mom. And she was like, "Oh, I don't know what job to do." And obviously at the time I was helping to write their CVs and going more into career instead of, building as an entrepreneur from scratch. And I remember her and I was like, "Look, tell me about you." I wasn't a mom at the time, but I was just so intrigued that she said that she doesn't know if she has any skills. It's like, okay, we have transferable skills. Okay, tell me about a day in your life. So we started talking about what sort of things are you in charge, what sort of things are you planning, what sort of things are you prioritizing, those type of things. And I was like, look, all those skills you can transfer them into a CV and you can get any job that you want because those are the basic skills that are needed in any industry. And it was a great. And then she moved and she started working as an admin. But it was honestly, it was like, wow. So yes, this is, thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxandra. And that was really very heartwarming. I'm sure at such a young age, she must have felt very empowered that day.
Yes, I need to go now because I spoke about her. I need to go to check on her. I honestly haven't spoke with her in a few years, but I'm sure I still have her contact. So before I let you go, Gitika, can you just tell us where can people find you and what sort of services do you offer at the moment? Is it just coaching or is it programs? What exactly do you do at the moment and where they can come and talk with you?
Oh, absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much, Alexandra. So I'm very active on LinkedIn, but I'm also available on Facebook. So if you just type Geetika Agarwal Leadership Coach anywhere on Google also, my web page and my LinkedIn and my Facebook, everything will pop up. Alternatively, I will drop down my WhatsApp business number. And, for all the women leaders that want to get connected to a community of like-minded women can do so. I have a WhatsApp community called Leadership Nuggets, where I share bite-sized leadership tips every single day. And I am a leadership coach, so I provide definitely coaching services. And I'm going to be launching very soon a group coaching program for women leaders, and all details will be published on my website. And additionally, I also do corporate coaching programs.
That's fantastic. And thank you so much. And I have to say that the community that you have on WhatsApp at the moment, it's free of charge. which
Yes.
is incredible. You created something for free with so much value in it. So just go, go. I will say go, go and check her work because it's amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and I really appreciate being so open. And we got so much value from you today. Can I just ask if are you open to go in different podcasts on or public speaking? Because I have so many connections and I think you're gonna be great, especially for what you do. I can open some doors for you. Will that resonate with you?
Well, thank you so much. Yes, absolutely, Roxandra. And I don't know how our paths crossed, but I'm sure it was because, you have such a positive energy and you're so welcoming and so sweet. It is always a pleasure talking to you with your beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you so much. Honestly, it means a lot. Thank you ever so much. And before I let you go, is there a quote or is there something like a final message you like to leave the audience?
Absolutely. So, my go-to quote, is this too shall pass. And this is something that keeps me grounded in moments of success so that I don't start thinking too much of myself, that even success is something that will eventually pass. And in those darker moments when I'm really struggling, it gives me a lot of strength that, okay, this too shall pass. And, there are better days that are coming forward.
That's so powerful. Thank you ever so much. It was a pleasure to have you. Wish you all the best. S- Hopefully, we're going to have you around for a different project. I'm pretty sure we're going to do lots of magic together. Thank you for your
I would
time.
love that. Thank you so much, Roxandra. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye. Goodbye, everyone,
Bye.
and see you next time. Bye.